Hello, world. Welcome to the Resistance. Welcome to the vocal minority with Nick and Steve. Thank you for being part of the 48%, the vocal minority. The revolution will not be televised. I repeat, the revolution will not be televised. It will, however, be podcast, because here in the club, we all fam. Take it away, boys.
All right, we'll take it away, dude. And do remember that, harness. Here in the club, we all fam. That's what I've been hearing lately, so I'm picking up on it for sure.
Well, that's good to hear. I love that show open. Very nice.
Good.
Although I will say I'm a little disappointed in other liberal talking heads out there. I've been reaching out to other people to be like, hey, we should all be like teaming up. And nobody seems to want to play with other people's sandboxes. They just want to take their own little followers and just keep them to themselves.
Oh, for sure. 100%. Well, you've been seeing that there's been so much, I've seen creators that have had so much growth out of this whole thing. They don't want to share with anybody. And again, I mean, it defeats the whole purpose. If we were all talking to each other, maybe we could make even more progress. If we could team up with somebody who had 1 million followers,
right?
So, yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. So I admonish you, knock it off. Come on. Help us all out. Help America out. God, help the world out.
Yes, for crying out loud. Let's do a little check-in, just like an emotional check-in, world-related, not personal-related, but like, how you feeling, dude, after these last couple of weeks now?
I'm still on the teeter-totter. I waver between being empowered and ready to fight the good fight and just completely defeated and depressed by everything I'm seeing and hearing.
Yeah. All right. Good show. Good talk, dude.
Yeah. How about you? Are you glass half full or glass half empty or glass full of cyanide and go ahead and drink it?
There's times of anxiety, and then there is times that I literally have caught myself. You played a clip on the show last week of me like saying, like, when you're speaking this harshly to me, like, rub my back, tell me, and be nice about it,
Right.
And I've definitely been caught myself doing that to myself, of being like, this isn't going to be that big of a deal, dude. Just relax. I've been lying to myself about a lot of stuff,
Yeah. Listen, I know none of this has actually come to fruition yet, but the groundwork is all being laid. All of our skepticism is being validated currently. I'm not seeing Trump try to neutralize or come to the center or anything. So
yes, it makes me think of, I'm a big Willie Nelson fan, and somebody was interviewing him, earlier. He's 90 something now, and I went to see him this summer in concert. Yeah. And dude, you know how they say like old people's nose and ears, they don't ever stop growing.
Yeah.
He had the biggest ears, dude, I have ever seen. I thought he's got to be older than 90. I mean, he is a really old man. And he said, somebody asked him, like, what's the secret? He was, of course, he said, I don't think marijuana hurts, like it makes you relax a little bit. And he was like, at some point in time, and remember, this is a man who had some sort of tax evasion. Like, he's been through some stuff. Yeah. But he said, I'm not going to worry about stuff anymore. And I actively worked to make that happen because I can't change any of it. I'm not going to worry.
Well, I struggle with not worrying versus not being involved. I feel like most people are just burying their heads right now and just are like, screw it. I'm just going to go back to watching, Netflix and just ignore politics. And yeah, that's not the right answer, I don't think. But if you can find that balance between not stressing the hell out of yourself, but still being involved and fighting the good fight, that's probably the best solution or best scenario.
Probably the right answer. And that's what I've been struggling to I guess we're trying to find our place, right? I'm trying to walk that tightrope because, I don't want it to mentally affect me too much. And, cause there is other shit going on in our personal lives, Yeah. But yeah, we got to keep an eye, on the canary, dude, and the cat. We got to make sure things are kosher as much as we can. Who knows?
Totally true. I spent my entire therapy session last week talking about all of this. The weight of the world on our shoulders. It's an opportunity for the show to grow. It's an opportunity to fight back. It's an opportunity to show my kids that we shouldn't just be giving up. But yeah, it's a lot. And the harassment we're getting online, I mean, it's not fun. I'm tuning a lot of it out, but it's still pretty prevalent.
Dude, this is interesting because last week I got 2 independent comments from people that I really respect on our show. and they were unsolicited and happened, just within hours of each other. The last week's show, our second episode for the podcast, that was pre-Trump vocal minority. Like, I laughed so hard throughout that whole episode, like it took me away for an hour, and I love that shit. Keep it up.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
yeah,
I don't know what the right answer is, because I've also heard from other people that they really like our political fighting the good fight, and the topic shows are fun, but not as compelling to the greater good of the world. Which I can understand that. It's us just sort of bullshitting and joking, and sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need to fight. I mean, we're trying to straddle the fence, but I don't know what the right answer is.
Hey, dude, I think we always come back to this every single time. It's all about balance, dude. I think we just got to work really hard to find the balance,
Yeah, well, check out the website, thevocalminority.net. We've got information there. The social medias, Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, and a bunch of other ones. And quite frankly, social media is where I feel like we need to start the show today. I have a few things to talk about on that topic.
All right. I've got questions about social media. So why don't we just jump right into some newsy news?
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know. Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news. Steve Harness.
Do you have questions first, or should I get into where I'm at with this?
I don't know. I don't want to ruin your news story, but what are we doing with Twitter or X or whatever it is? Like, I'm ready to jump the platform, personally.
Right. That's my first story, so let's start there.
Cool.
X, formerly known as Twitter, sees the largest user exodus since Elon Musk took over. On the day after the election, November 6th, X experienced a ginormous exodus. The biggest single-day loss since Elon Musk took over the platform in 2022. Users are flooding to alternative text-based social media apps like Blue Sky and Instagram's Threads. Those numbers appear to be climbing as large brands like the Guardian newspaper, Don Lemon, former CNN host, announcing that they're leaving the platform. I've seen Destiny Online starting to call for people to leave Twitter X behind. According to data from SimilarWeb, a third-party company that tracks social media analytics, daily traffic to Blue Sky jumped above that of Threads on November 6th. Blue Sky is currently the #1 free app on the App Store. And we did join Blue Sky this past week.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind Blue Sky at all?
Yeah, I mean, Jack Dorsey is the guy that started Twitter and built it to everything it was. Elon Musk stepped in when the company was public and he bought it. And then Jack Dorsey went over and started Blue Sky, which looks and feels like the old school Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, everything I've read just says like he basically just plugged in the old Twitter and, changed a couple of name things on it, and boom, that was it, which I freaking love, dude. Especially if he can do this and he can win over X. Not that I feel like that would be really hard, but X does have a following of certain idiots, so, but if we could if Blue Sky could take over X and crush it, I would just be delighted, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to encourage everyone out there to join Blue Sky and to try to make that a reality, because Twitter has become just a cesspool hellhole of MAGA world. Musk tries to claim that he's not manipulating the algorithm, but I don't believe that guy any further than I could throw his fat ass, because all I see is MAGA crap. All I see is Elon Musk's post, the top of every page every time I log on. So either they're manipulating it or all of the center and liberals have left the platform, and that's all that remains.
Yes. I think it's got to be being manipulated. The guy that I've been really feeling down about, I think his name is Peter Lichtman. He's the guy who does the, guesses the election outcome with the 9 flags or whatever. Well, he has never been wrong, or maybe one time in all these decades. He was interviewed and they were like, Cuomo was asking him, what was it? Like, why'd you get it wrong? I thought it couldn't be wrong. He said, this is all disinformation. I mean, we've always had disinformation and propaganda of some sort, but it's been at such large scale that is one of the things we can't account for.
Yep. He actually said it was two things. One, the epic amount of misinformation, and then directly tied to that, he said we have never had a multi-billionaire who owns a social media platform put his thumb on the scale.
Yes.
So he really felt that those two things, Twitter in general, but Musk doing everything he's been doing, is what tipped the election that way. Maybe he's right. I mean, it certainly seems to have played a factor. And as we've been talking about on the show, like, reality doesn't seem to have set in with so many people because of the misinformation out there and because people don't really want to see actual facts.
No, that's true. People don't want to see facts for different reasons. But yeah, everyone is not wanting to look at facts sometimes. The Blue Party just seems to be able to look at facts in a different way, is my opinion.
Yeah. And that brings me to one of the questions here about social media. Now, you know, in the Twitter world, we're a drop in that pond. There are certainly podcasts and media outlets that have millions of followers that, when and if they leave, will make a noticeable impact. But I've been wondering if we should just delete our accounts and just get off of there, because it does us zero good. I mean, it's just nothing but a mega hellhole. So we're not winning over any new listeners. We're not changing any minds in Twitter anymore.
Yeah. You know what I think, dude?
And we say bye-bye.
I think we just say bye-bye. We're done, dude. I really want to be done.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I don't want to support, and I don't want to support something like that. Even if it's going to bring me something, I don't want to be a part of it. I feel that strongly about the whole platform, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess there you go then. I will delete our accounts because, yeah, I mean, it's some small protest on our part, and yeah, like I said, it's not doing us any good, so I don't even know why we're on there anymore. I occasionally like to go on there just to see what these idiots are all talking about, or go poke at Musk or Kevin Sorbo or something, but I don't know that is doing me any good or anyone else.
I think your infatuation with Kevin Sorbo is fascinating, dude. I'm just learning of this as of late, really.
Well, the two posts I see the most often on Twitter are Elon Musk and Kevin fucking Sorbo. That neither of them has a job, from what I can tell. They're just on Twitter all day long posting MAGA stuff.
It's their job, dude. That's their job.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I feel like, as we've discussed recently, now's not the time for these back and forth debates between the left and the right. The election's over. We got to rally our troops, get ready for the next election. So I don't know what good being in the mega hellhole's doing anymore. So I think you're probably right.
Let's do it, dude. Let's say adios. Sayonara.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So take that off our list. Here's the other problem, though. So that covers Twitter. Let's talk about TikTok and Reddit, because we got problems going on there as well. So let's start with TikTok, all right? The news cycle has been overwhelmed in the past 2 weeks with all of Trump's crazy cabinet nominees, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we'll talk a little bit more about Matt Gaetz in a minute. I got a whole thing about him, too, but a new Trump cabinet appointment was just announced. Trump picks Brendan Carr to lead the Federal Communications Commission. That is the FCC. Now, Nick and I, being long-running radio guys, we know all about the FCC. They're the governing body for radio and television, anything that is broadcast over the public airwaves. So not cable, not satellite radio, anything that's a traditional over-the-air, even if it's on your cable network. But if it's an over-the-air thing, the FCC controls them.
Yeah, broadcast. It's got to be that, you know.
Exactly. So I started reading this, and at first I was like, all right, maybe this guy's not crazy. So President-elect Donald Trump announced just in the last 24 hours here that he has selected Brendan Carr, a Republican who is currently on the Federal Communications Commission, to run the whole thing, okay? So, you know, this guy's been on the FCC, and the FCC has a division. I think it's like 5 of them. They try to mix it up between Dems and Republicans. It's supposed to be bipartisan thing, right?
Yes.
So at first I thought, all right, so the guy's already been on the commission. He hasn't destroyed anything yet, but now he's going to be in charge of it. But then you get to this part of the story. He is one of the authors of Project 2025.
Yeah, and he's, I think, even higher in the ranks than just writing a chapter. Like, I think he's higher in the ranks.
Yeah, and again, this goes to the whole, like, the Trump campaign was denying they had anything to do with Project 2025, yet all of their cronies are the ones who wrote it. And it wasn't written by just one person. There are multiple chapters and whatnot. So all sorts of people have had their hands in this. So the guy who's now going to be running the FCC said in his Project 2025 chapter that he suggests that TikTok should be banned if it fails to disentangle from the China-based parent company ByteDance. So Trump, as we talked about, he joined TikTok during this campaign. He's on there. But when he was in the White House, he wanted it to be thrown out the window. So now the question is, what is going to happen to TikTok? The law is already on the books that says that coming up on January 19th, the last day of the Biden administration, that TikTok, if it hasn't, disentangled itself from ByteDance, will be banned in America. The courts have a chance to step in and stop this. But the problem we're about to have is that Trump is going to be in charge. We will see if he's going to follow the guy he just appointed to run the FCC, then he's also going to call for it to be, to not undo that law and to go ahead and let it be thrown out. But when you have the White House echoing that, when you have the head of the FCC, even if it gets into the courts, it is highly debatable if the Supreme Court would actually do what is probably correct to say that you can't just throw a company out of America because you're concerned they may do something wrong. He's also going to have Elon Musk in his ear. Elon Musk would love to have TikTok go away. That's a major competitor for Twitter. So it looks like everyone around Trump is going to be encouraging him to let TikTok just die. So I am afraid that is what is coming up here, that TikTok is going to go away.
If you recall, dude, Trump was all against TikTok, and then he had lunch at Mar-a-Lago with, the owner of TikTok, and it was discovered that he greased his palms with a donation towards something. I can't remember what it was. And then the next day he was all pro TikTok, right? So if you go back even 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we started talking about quid pro quo, right? Because, well, it kept coming up in the news that this, the Trump campaign and the Biden administration was doing quid pro quo shit all across the board, blah, blah, blah. Well, now I think that's his whole team, dude. I can't remember the senator who said it earlier this week, but he said something, I'm paraphrasing. He said, if Trump asks us to jump 3 times and pat our heads, we're going to jump 3 times and pat our heads. Like, we're here to do exactly what he wants, without question.
Trump's stances are often based on the last person he talked to. So, sure, he could come out to defend TikTok, but I just don't see that writing on the wall. I mean, like I said, first of all, the law is already on the books. So our best case scenario here is that the courts will slow this down. The ACLU is part of this lawsuit to not have TikTok be thrown out of the country. The ACLU tends to be on the right side of legal debates.
Yeah.
But anything like this will ultimately end up in the Supreme Court, and my faith that they're going to actually do the right thing has just been thrown out the freaking window. So, yeah, I don't know. I think best case scenario, TikTok will be held up in legal limbo, and we all may still be able to access it. But
what's your biggest concern, dude, if we lose TikTok?
That we have built up almost 10,000 fucking followers on there, and that it's a platform that actually has politics being discussed and whatnot. Like, a lot of these other platforms just seem to be shying away from politics. So, yeah, I mean, we have the most number of followers. There's a whole network out there. There's people that make money off the TikTok shop. Like, it's a thing millions of Americans use, like 180 million in a country of 350 million.
Yeah.
It's a lot of freaking people.
Dude, we used to have a guy on this show that talked about TikTok and how bad it was, and, that it's being run by China and it's dangerous and everything else. Just like I disavowed Twitter X a few minutes ago, because I don't care if it's getting us an audience. I want to cancel it. TikTok is not doing anything bad. I truly feel that way. Like, I'm not worried. It's the least of my worries is TikTok. Right. So what all you idiots are worried about with TikTok, point something out. Give me some sort of evidence that there's been a breach in security, or the Chinese government is programming our minds. I mean, give me something, because I haven't seen anything.
Absolutely. That is one of the big problems. Everyone seems to be saying that the Chinese government could do this, or that. They could do something nefarious. Well, Elon Musk could absolutely do something nefarious. I trust him less than I trust the communist Chinese government at this point. Zuckerberg could do something nefarious. Everyone in every company could do something nefarious. So if you know something you're not telling us, then tell us. Otherwise, you're just targeting a Chinese-based company because you're afraid of them, and then that's a slippery slope. What if Trump is then afraid of what Zuckerberg's going to do? Now Facebook's under the radar. Like, where do we end this? So either pony up and tell us what has actually happened, not what you think could happen, or leave them alone until they do something.
You should be worried of actual evidence of Elon Musk, who controls the X platform and a lot of other shit, has met with Putin like 4 times in the last 6 months. Like, that's actual hard evidence of why you might want to leave. But no, for TikTok going away. I do not. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But yes, now the head of the FCC wants it gone. It's part of Project 2025. So that doesn't fill me with a lot of faith and confidence. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Reddit today. I just, Reddit depressed the living crap out of me. So
why?
There's a page on there that we have been averaging anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 views per month on Reddit for our video clips. The actual content from our show.
Yeah.
Some of our little memes or political written commentaries or responses, those things are getting millions every month, which is fun and cool. But I want people actually watching portions of the show. That's what really matters most, right?
Yeah.
So, 200,000 views is what we've got in the last month. But it's all coming, 95% of it, from one page, one subreddit board on there. And I have been nervous that what if something happens to that one page? What if they ban us or whatever? Like, what if it just goes away? There goes our audience.
We got to diversify the portfolio a little bit, is your concern?
Yes. And I've been struggling to find good other political pages that will allow you to post video. Because there's a bunch of political pages, but they don't all allow you to post video, and that's what we're trying to get out there. So I go on this freaking subreddit today. Just last week we had 50,000 views. I go on there today to post something, and when you can pick your category, like what is this, I noticed politics is no longer an option on this subreddit page. I look at the rules. They've updated the rules. They no longer want political content posted on the page unless it's directly tied to economics. I posted on there today our video clip about canceling Family Ties. Do we cancel Justine Bateman? Do we cancel Kevin Sorbo? Because cancel culture is the free market. Free market is economics. So
yes,
that is a political post about economics. Now, I will say, a bunch of people jumped on there right away. I thought we weren't talking politics on this board anymore. And so far, the moderator has not pulled our content. But the whole thing is depressing the crap out of me because multiple people have commented on there of which member of Family Ties is saying this stuff. Who are we supposed to cancel? Or other people are saying, you can't cancel Family Ties. The show's been off the air for years. That is exactly what the clip is talking about, is who on the show we're talking about and the fact that you can't cancel them. In other words, people are commenting without watching the fucking video. So the big page that's been all about politics doesn't want to talk politics anymore, and Americans are commenting on stuff they won't take 60 seconds to watch.
Yeah. That
summarizes the state of our economy or our country right now. And I told one person, like, we answered these questions in the clip. You don't have 60 seconds? And the kid replied back like, no, I don't need to take the time. I'm just going to comment. Like, you got the time to comment, but not watch what you're commenting on. That is America in a nutshell right there.
Yeah. Irresponsible. Giant pandemic of misinformation, right?
Right. We are answering the questions, and you just are commenting. You just read the headline, I guess, and just jump into the comment section. Don't even want to be informed. And this is what I'm talking about. Everyone is burying their heads, from the moderator of that page to the people on it. Hear no evil, see no evil, don't talk politics, but I still have an opinion that I'm going to comment on without even being informed on it.
Yeah. Oh, that's not. Maybe it's part of the new fad, dude. Is just to mention politics and not really know what you're talking about. Right. All those people that you see go to like the Trump rallies that get interviewed. I mean, I'm not saying all. Well, maybe I am. I'm not saying all Trump voters are idiots, but all of those people, dude. I think to myself, you don't even know anything about this, like we've talked about.
I would be embarrassed if I commented and then someone pointed out like what you just the answers in the video and I would feel stupid. But to see people defending their ignorance, like I'm not going to take 60 seconds to watch a clip. I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 minutes to type a comment and reply to you and reply to him. Like, it hurts my fucking head. And yes, now we got to find another board because I don't want to lose the traction going on there. But I've been struggling to find one prior to now. And I don't even know. I don't even know how to find it anymore.
Maybe we got to make a campaign on Blue Sky of just to be like, we're giving up other, social media platforms. Like, we need help, guys. Like, get on this forward, follow the show or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're new to Blue Sky. We're up to like 7 followers. So we got to build that up a little before any messaging is getting out. But yeah, it was just a depressing body blow this morning to wake up and see that the page doesn't want politics unless it's very specific and see all these idiots commenting without watching the video. I'm just like, we are fucked in this country, man.
Yeah. We got to follow all this information, though. I mean, isn't that speaking on its own of what people want to talk about, what they want to hear about?
Yeah.
So, it's just, but it's like solving a puzzle. It's like getting out of an escape room because things are changing so fast, so quickly. I mean, when we talk about canceling people, dude, I can't believe all the people I'm seeing on my feed. Every morning I wake up and they're like, jelly rolls out, I mean, they're canceling people that I don't even spend time thinking about, but they're canceled.
Yeah. At least Jelly Roll's current. At least he's cancelable. I mean, that was the whole point of the joke of that video is you can't cancel Family Ties.
Right.
But people are arguing without even, you can't cancel it. I know, it's in the video. That was our point.
That was the joke.
Like,
yeah. Right.
So yes, I'm horribly depressed by all these social media things going on. Twitter is a hellhole. TikTok seems to be going away, and Reddit just has their head buried up their asses and just arguing without even watching anything.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to. I am depressed. All right.
This is America, 2024 into 2025. Everyone's got an opinion without researching what you're even talking about. So,
well, join in the revolution, right? It won't be televised, no, but we're podcasting it here.
Need to know news.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I literally have a pit in my stomach right now, dude. I'm just like, oh, man, my shoulders are sunken. I'm going to talk about just a stupid bullshit story to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, all right?
Please.
All right.
Yes.
I think, maybe this is sad in its own way, but okay, so big MMA fights this week. John Jones versus, I think Mika is the guy, and it was a big fight. So who shows up at MMA? Of course Donald Trump does, because he's Dana White's new best friend, and he's, front row for every fight. Kid Rock showed up, ready to go. Okay, so those two idiots are there. Leon Musk or Elon. What's his real name?
No, his real name's Elon, but we call him.
He's Leon. Leon Musk was there. And, just a bunch of people, Jelly Roll, like all these people, and they're just broing out, hanging out, enjoying. All the fighters, dude, I was so disappointed. Were doing, like, saying hello to him. And like they liked him, not like a respectful hello, Mr. President-elect. But it's just been a mess to see who loves Trump. Okay,
hold on, though. Didn't one of the MMA fighters walk right past Trump? Because I did see that clip.
That is true. Yes, that did happen.
At least one of them.
Yeah, at least one of them. But John Jones, after he won the fight, he did the Trump dance in the middle of the octagon.
Yes. And if you seen that is the newest NFL end zone celebration. Multiple people did it this weekend.
And what the F, dude? Like, seriously, why? Don't make him relevant. It's so crazy to me. That is so stupid, that dance. That dance is, what are you doing, cult member?
It is the most stupid white guy dance I think I've ever seen. Elaine on Seinfeld could dance better than Trump. But yes, now the idiocy of that dance is becoming a pop culture phenomenon that is sneaking its way into NFL games, and the NFL is staunchly against putting politics into their games. But this is sort of a covert way to slip it in there.
Oh, we heard for years, dude. Just shut up and play football. Don't kneel for the, national anthem. Like, keep politics out of sports. Like, throw the ball, monkey. Yeah. Like, there was terrible shit said. But now, let's just bring it in. My story is about the after party that Leon Musk, Donald Trump Jr., Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, and then Ted Kennedy or RFK? Yeah. All right. They get on Trump's plane. All right. Now, let me remind you that 3 days ago, RFK has been talking about health and vaccines for a long time. What position was he just appointed to?
To the head of the Health and Human Services?
Yeah. Okay. He talks constantly about American food, and one of the initiatives that he talks about that I don't disagree with is that, Fruit Loops in England and Fruit Loops here has considerable different shit in it, right? Yeah. And the American stuff that's in it doesn't need to be there, blah, blah, blah. But he talks about fast food all the time, McDonald's, blah, blah, blah.
He says it's poison.
It's poison. Wouldn't put it in his body and everything else. But how soon things change after, you get a little quid pro quo going on, dude. He's sitting on Trump's plane. There was a picture taken of Elon Musk, like I said, Trump, Mike Johnson, Trump Jr., and RFK. Let's see. Do you want to hear? I think I have. I could tell you what the menu was. Okay.
In the picture taken on Saturday, Trump appeared to be ready to enjoy a filet-o-fish, a Big Mac, fries, and a Fanta Orange. Meanwhile, Musk had a quarter pounder with cheese, 10 chicken nuggets, fries, and ketchup. Opposite him was RFK Jr. with a Big Mac, chicken nuggets, fries, and a regular Coca-Cola. To his right was Trump's eldest son, who was beaming whilst holding up his fries. He also had a box of 10 chicken nuggets in front of him. After people noted RFK Jr.'s awkward smile, Trump joked that his new health secretary's goal to make America healthy again would be delayed until tomorrow.
Yeah, they're joking about America's health, it's delayed until tomorrow. Wow. They're lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. These people are lying to you. Like a quick little peek in the curtain will show you these people are lying to you.
And people don't pay attention. We did something about, I don't even remember what video it was. It was just posted, and something about Trump, eating McDonald's. And someone on YouTube commented, like, what are you guys talking about? Trump doesn't ever eat McDonald's. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
We know in the White House in his first term, he used to serve McDonald's on a silver platter to dignitaries and guests.
Yeah.
And he's raved about McDonald's a million times. RFK, before that picture was even taken, said the only food served on Trump's plane is either KFC or McDonald's.
Yeah.
So it's a well-known thing, and yet his voters are just like, Trump doesn't eat McDonald's. What are you talking about?
He's the fittest president we've ever had.
And by the way, when I pick up McDonald's at a drive-thru, by the time I get it home 5 minutes later, it's already getting cold and stiff. Like, how the hell are they doing that on a private plane?
Thought the same thing, dude. I was like, how imagine the temperature of all those foods that are sitting there. I mean, maybe they're warm. Maybe he's got something special in there. I found it hysterical that Don Jr. just had the chicken nuggets and fries. Like, what a happy meal, dude. Right. Like, you are the little baby sitting in the room. Did you get a toy with it?
That's all he wanted was the toy. So, Yeah, no, hypocrisy. Who knew? Unhealthy habits, poisoning the earth themselves and everyone else. So.
It was, I'm trying to think of who else got canceled just over the weekend, but everyone's crying about, Dr. Phil, dude. Dr. Phil completely let down by the fact that for years he went on TV. Keep in mind, this is somebody Oprah made famous. Yeah. So for years he went on TV talking about what an idiot Trump was and how dangerous he was, and then all of a sudden he did this big flip where he was pro-Trump. He interviewed him, he spoke at his Madison Square Garden, his famous rally there, and in favor of him. And he was not offered a cabinet position or anything. And people are saying, like, this is part of the fuck around and find out. Like, goodbye, Dr. Phil.
I mean, first of all, I mean, who knows? He could still get something here. But no, Nikki Haley was the same thing, where she was part of his first administration, then ran against him for president, ripped him a new one, tried to make a mea culpa once she was off the ticket. And then Trump immediately announced last week, like, no Nikki Haley in my administration. Like,
right.
Haha. You try to kiss the ring, assuming you'd get something. And it doesn't even matter. Too little, too late.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, there you go. There's a little update on the McDonald's menu for RFK.
This is Need to Know News. News you need to know.
Hi, Stephen. This is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Clem. How you doing there? Doing good?
Doing good, dude.
Okay. So listen, we've posted a few videos of late featuring me railing on the fact that there's no guardrails. Just stop it, everyone. Like, you think the Constitution's going to help. You think common sense senators or congressmen are going to help. And I've just been railing on, like, knock it off. There are no guardrails. And I know that's depressed you. It's depressed a lot of people in my life, quite frankly. And a lot of people have commented online of like, come on, there's still guardrails. He can't go against the Constitution. Senators aren't going to let Matt Gaetz get nominated to be the Attorney General. Like, people keep holding on to these little glimmers of hope, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and I keep telling everyone, he's going to do what he wants to do. If you don't approve his nominee, he's going to go around the Constitution. He'll either make him interim or he'll just do this little weird loophole he's now flirting with. So Trump has got this plan of how he can get people to be nominated without congressional approval or Senate approval. And the big question is, will he do it? Several Republicans have said that they were shocked about Matt Gaetz, a child sex trafficker, seems to be a cokehead, just all-around scumbag who completely destroyed the GOP majority in the Congress this last round. Like, a bunch of Republicans hate the guy. But yes, Trump has now nominated him to be essentially the top cop in all of America, the Attorney General.
Might we add, I think just a couple of days before the committee was about to release this big report on him raping a 17-year-old.
Trump has this plan of how he can get around the Constitution. The Constitution gives the president limited authority to make appointments when Congress is not in session. And it also gives him the power to adjourn the House and the Senate, though no president has ever done so in order to staff his administration. Trump has threatened to adjourn Congress to make appointments towards the end of his first term. That was back in 2016, and some fear that this time he's actually going to follow through on it. This is what they did 4 years ago, and we cannot let it happen again. Trump tweeted out on Truth or whatever. We need these positions filled immediately. The scheme would immediately wind up in the courts if he tries to force Congress to adjourn so he can do appointments that way.
Yeah.
This would end up in the courts, and as happened throughout Trump's political reign, the courts would need to address a constitutional provision that has not been effectively used in over 200 years. The only word on this is from Breyer's opinion in the NLRB versus Canning, but the Supreme Court's new conservative members may not agree with that opinion that had formerly said that a president cannot use this authority to essentially bypass the Senate and just put his own cabinet members in. But so, yeah, will this new conservative Supreme Court uphold that? A lot of people think they will not.
Well, I doubt it. Listen, dude, this is the thing everybody needs to think about. When you think about Project 2025, what you need to know that this whole agenda was written again by a collaborative group of people that are lawyers, and they know good lawyers. They've been writing this to fuck around with stuff that way for the whole time. I mean, Trump going to pick up all the migrants. So, like, he's talking about, enacting something that has not been enacted since 1898. They've looked for all the loopholes in our Constitution, and they're going to be playing whack-a-mole with them for the next 4 years.
You're spot on. President-elect Donald Trump just said he would declare a national emergency so that he could use the military on American soil to help execute his mass deportation plans. Again, what is it, a posse comitatus? It's in the freaking Constitution that our military cannot be used on our soil for essentially anything. I mean, it's supposed to be not against U.S. citizens, but the problem with these mass deportations is they may round up actual citizens. And point being, you're not supposed to use the military for any sort of police enforcement. So Trump is going to enact this, obscure law so that he can do just that. Like he's going to try to go around the Senate and the Congress to appoint whoever he wants.
This is all Nazi shit. I mean, it's how it was done. It's all Nazi shit.
Yes. So everyone's been wondering, what will Trump do or not do that he has been promising? So right now is the litmus test. I am telling you, if Matt Gaetz ends up getting confirmed as the Attorney General, game over. There are no guardrails. There is no democracy anymore. He is either going to bully the Republicans into nominating him, or he will simply circumnavigate the Constitution and do it himself, make them interim Attorney General, interim whoever. So just watch. If Matt Gaetz gets in, it is game over. That's your test.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I think I pretty much agree with that. He's the one who tried to not let Mike Johnson get confirmed. He pissed a bunch of Republicans off that they had to vote for him several different times. It took too long. They didn't think it was going to get done. But he has not only caused chaos towards the Democratic Party, but he's done it in his own party, so that there is that group of people that are like, F Matt Gaetz, dude. The things that he's bragged about inside the House, inside Congress, people have talked about and said, I am not for that guy. But it doesn't matter, dude. Right. It doesn't matter because they're for Trump, and Trump is going to say, do what I do. You got to do this. This is my plan. Follow me blindly.
How many Republicans have criticized Trump in the past and then fallen into line? J.D. Vance being probably the best example. He's Trump's vice president, yet had called him America's Hitler. I'm a never Trump guy. Like, they all bluster when the cameras are on, but then they fall in line. Prove me wrong. If Matt Gaetz doesn't get in, maybe we have some glimmer of hope. But man, is that a low bar. Like, if they don't let the child sex pervert cokehead in, then I guess then we've got some chance.
Yeah, maybe we'll be okay.
Right, but he is going to ramrod him through there. So just keep an eye on that one. That's your indication.
For those who didn't hear just in this past week who some of these nominations were, 60 Minutes did just the breakdown on the list of who's been nominated and for what thus far.
I heard it pissed Trump off, so yeah, go for it.
Some nominees appear to have no compelling qualifications other than loyalty to Trump. The nominees are Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, Pete Hegseth to lead the 3 million people of the Department of Defense. He's a combat veteran, most recently a morning show host on Fox News with no government experience. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz for Attorney General, in charge of law enforcement. Gaetz has been investigated by Republicans for alleged drug use and sex with a minor. Gaetz denies those allegations. Former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. She sought a pardon for Edward Snowden, who leaked U.S. secrets and now lives in Russia. And Robert Kennedy Jr. For Secretary of Health and Human...
We talked about RFK, but isn't that quite the list, dude? That's a week's worth.
And I love that MAGA's freaking out that 60 Minutes did that piece. They're just saying what it is, and that upsets them. Don't point out how flawed they are, what terrible humans they are. How dare you corrupt news coverage?
You see that there's a lot going on in the news. Are you done with your story?
Yeah.
We might as well just go straight into this one because it all sort of coincides. Did you see what Morning Joe did this past weekend?
Yeah, I did. Go ahead and tell everyone.
Morning Joe went and visited with President-elect Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and they had a sit-down with him. It was not taped. We don't know what the conversation was outside of what they told us. I have Mika making a statement. I don't even know if I want to play it on Morning Joe, but I may just sort of paraphrase it. She basically said, we haven't had any contact or communication with the president since 2020. And, I guess Joe did call President-elect Trump when he was shot at, almost assassinated, apparently. But aside from that, they'd had no contact. And her grandfather told her once something to the effect of, like, when we stop talking to people, progress stops, So she was like, we felt inclined to get back in contact, start covering him, because they weren't even really covering him. And they sat down with him, and Trump used it on Twitter almost as soon as they were done, and just saying, like, they were praising him the whole time, saying he ran the cleanest election that he's ever run before, that they were kissing his butt. And he was like, it was a good meeting. And we'll have to see. I want to almost cancel Morning Joe for doing this, but then I thought, I'm going to wait and see what their programming looks like. I think I'll be able to tell if they have changed their tune. Like, if they're falling into, treating Trump fairly, and they shouldn't, because this is not a fair game. Like, call it as you see it, sure. But you got to talk about it. Don't be nice to him like he wants you to. And if they start, I'm out.
So they're claiming they're not trying to normalize him, but that, yes, he's president, so we have to reestablish communication or whatever. And, what that guy said about, progress stopping, we don't communicate. That's in some sort of normal setting where you have normal human beings that can actually have a conversation. The reason they stopped having him on Morning Joe is he just came on there and lied and filibustered and tried to talk over everyone. It was just misinformation. And Morning Joe and MSNBC don't want to amplify that stuff. So unless they're literally just going to go kiss the ring and let him run roughshod over them, it's all going to fall apart again because Trump will not stop lying. So I don't know what this symbolic gesture is, or if they're really delusional enough to think that they're going to have some honest discourse. Because I can't imagine they went and told him that he ran the cleanest election ever. He's already using them for propaganda.
Yes. Yeah. And that was my point, is he posted immediately. I think the heaviest thing that he said was like, we didn't agree on everything, but I was, or maybe even Mika said, like, he seemed hopeful and agreeable to working with Democrats. I'm like, he's made that very clear that he's not going to do that. Like, don't tell me that, dude. Don't tell me this guy is red. Like, I know what color it is.
Yeah, we've seen zero indication of that, and I doubt they're the ones that are going to bring it out. And maybe one of my favorite parts of living on the West Coast, I hardly ever see Morning Joe because it's not so freaking early for us out here. So I rarely see it. I see clips from it, but I guess let's see what they do with it. But it's going to fall apart quickly if they're not going to try to normalize him.
Here's the thing, dude. That network has enough integrity, even in its talent, not only in its management, but in its talent, from, Rachel Maddow to Chris Hayes and,
O'Donnell.
Yeah, Lawrence O'Donnell. I mean, that lineup right there is, I think they're all have a lot of integrity. So they wouldn't put up with it. They would not put up on being on that channel later in the day with that as a lead in.
And I cannot imagine a Rachel Maddow or Chris Hayes or Lawrence O'Donnell flying down to Mar-a-Lago to make any sort of mea culpa or whatever. No. So we'll see what happens. I'm just glad those people are on the air during daylight hours when most humans are watching.
Yeah, we'll see who else is offering up the olive branch.
Need to know news.
I said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
News you need to know.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm circumcised. I got my son circumcised. I'm not religious. Well, there you go.
You sound like a man worth listening to.
Speaking of circumcision, isn't that a Jewish thing or something?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, well, it's a good setup for this story because guess what, America? The neo-Nazis are back. Oh, good. Columbus, Ohio, community leaders are condemning armed neo-Nazis marching this past weekend, broad daylight, using racial slurs towards people of color on the street and shouting about Jewish people and white power. This is Columbus, Ohio, middle of the day on a Saturday. post-election.
And let me tell you, dude, the footage of what happened, just for like the average American, like this was a scary thing. I mean, I don't know. It was a group of like, maybe I would guess 12, 15, somewhere around there. But they were carrying flags, all wearing the same uniform, had their face covered, and yelling terrible shit.
Yeah, with swastikas on full display.
Yeah.
In a statement over the weekend, police said that there were no arrests after officers were dispatched at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a group of individuals dressed in all black and armed with firearms, holding Nazi swastika signs, who were apparently getting in physical altercations and harassing citizens, but no arrests were made. Officers were advised that a group may have been in a physical altercation with civilians in the area. City Council President Shannon Hardin said in a online post that he had been in touch with the police about the incident and said, quote, "I'm sorry that the president-elect has emboldened these creeps. This community rejects their pathetic efforts to promote their fear and hate. Columbus will always stand with those that they seek to intimidate." In other words, the people the Nazis are harassing, Columbus will stand with them. So I love that guy pointed out the obvious, that this has been emboldened by the president-elect, by the MAGA movement. These Nazis would not have been marching on the streets Saturday afternoon in Ohio had Kamala Harris won. So yet again, America, congratulations. Not only is this what you emboldened, not only is it what you voted for, but this is who's on your team. If you're the 52% that voted for Trump, you're standing not only with Putin, North Korea, Communist China, but the neo-Nazis. You guys are all in the same team. So congratulations.
And whether you like it or not, I mean, that's just how it is. If you don't like them on your team, you don't get to choose. You voted the exact same as they did. So, people asked Donald Trump about this Nazi walk, and here's his comment.
It's not racist at all, no.
You see, he doesn't think it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No.
What, sir? What did you think about the Nazis marching in Columbus? What did you think about the swastikas? Please comment.
It's not racist at all, no.
Okay, perfect. So
even the racial slurs they were yelling at civilians, that wasn't racist at all, huh?
I may be playing this out of context, but
well, it's has he denounced them? Has he gone against any of this?
Of course not, dude. Of course not. And good ups on that. Who was that? The governor of Columbus?
I believe it was the city council president.
Okay, it was great that he made us. You got to make a statement, dude. You got to say, you know what? We don't accept that. We do not promote that. Otherwise, Jelly Roll, you're just tied in with them, dude. You got to speak up or you're one of them.
And several city leaders did speak out against it, but he was the one that actually connected the dot to the Trump administration emboldening all of this. So that's why I read his quote, because as I'm reading the article, I'm like, this is all from Trump. This is all from Trump. And then when I got to his quote where he said the same thing, it's just like, hallelujah. Yeah. And this is the problem with the video we posted a week ago about the elementary school girl that was getting harassed by other little boys screaming, your body, my choice. So many Trumpers. That video depressed the hell out of me. The story was sad enough, but the Trumpers either tried to tell us that we made that story up, that it was fake. That couldn't be possibly true, though. That couldn't be emboldened by us. You're making it up.
Yeah.
Which you know damn well I was not. And others were just defending it, like kids will be kids, there's harassment. On all of our social media platforms that we posted that on, not one MAGA person did the obvious and easy thing and just denounced it. All they had to do was just say, that's obviously not what we agree with. We're not on that. All they had to do was denounce it. Not one person did.
Do you know why?
Because they have to then acknowledge that they're part of the problem. Even if you're denouncing it, you still have to acknowledge it's real.
Yes, you cannot. You will be denouncing things over and over and over again. Pretty soon the bottom's out of the boat. Like, you can only denounce so many things, right? Yeah. I mean, and before you got to leave the person you're following. So yeah, they don't want to get started on that, dude. They just think it in their heads and think that's good enough, but they don't stand up for the people who can't speak.
It's just the epitome that anything that disagrees with them, anything that makes them look bad, it's fake. It has to be fake then.
Yeah, gotta be fake, dude. Can't be real.
And it's not. And one person tried to tell me, oh, I've seen this everywhere. I've word for word what you guys just said. I've seen on other liberal, podcasts and whatnot. And I told that guy, like, I know I'm not lying, so therefore you are. So show me anyone else who just did this exact same news story. Crickets, nothing, no reply.
Right.
Could have put me in my place.
Yeah.
But no,
right.
You're lying. So
I know that's a true story. Obviously, it's a true story. It's from somebody close to you in your personal life. But you know what? It doesn't surprise me that story, they heard it somewhere else. It was happening in other places, dude.
Yes.
This is not a one-off. People are talking about this because it was spread across our country very rapidly when Nick Fuentes went online and said it. Parents started repeating it. Kids saw it on social media. They started parroting it. It did. It happened.
A lot of people try to say, oh, I only hear liberals talking about this. No, you only hear liberals talking about it because you guys started it. Now we're covering it. Like, we didn't start this. Yes, It started with this Nick Fuentes idiot and has now spread everywhere. So, no, we didn't make it up. And this, I don't know, this brings me to another thing I wanted to just debate here real quick at least. The picture I sent you this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So, out on my dirt bike trails in rural Nevada here, I found there's a hilltop out here that somebody years ago brought a picnic table out there. And it's on top of a beautiful hilltop out looking over the high desert and the mountains and all that. And I've had a few picnics at that picnic table with Kennedy, with my son. It's a nice little spot. But this weekend when I was out there, somebody has put an American flag on top of this picnic table.
Yeah.
And I've got a few problems with it. And I don't know what to do about it because I would like to go take the flag down. Now, most people's knee-jerk reaction is, it's the American flag, like, how dare you? Well, first of all, where do we stop? Okay, so this is nature. You're not supposed to be polluting stuff out there, right? It's supposed to be untouched landscape. So if the American flag is okay, is the state of Nevada flag okay? How about the Forest Service flag? Should we put the first responder flag out there? How many fucking flags do we put before we realize we're just littering and clouding up the untouched landscape out there? That's my first problem.
Well, your first problem, dude. Didn't you pledge allegiance? I mean, didn't you pledge allegiance to one flag?
Yeah, sure. The other problem, though, with that is what the American flag has become. We've talked about the fact that it's been co-opted by the MAGA movement. So I have a feeling whoever put that flag out there is not celebrating freedom. They're celebrating hatred. They're celebrating MAGA. They're celebrating this Trump win.
It'd be a great way to tell, dude. Okay. I mean, you could start leaving little things around that flag. Like, why don't you, go bring some chalk ups out there and, put Harris's name on the picnic table. See if it stays. You could. I don't think you can touch the flag, dude, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll get to that part. That's the other thing. That somebody left a bunch of shotgun shells all around the flag. Another indication of what their mentality is, that they're leaving ammunition around the American flag. My third point is, yes, it is litter. I mean, you have put a thing out there that is not going to survive the winter. It's not going to survive extreme storms. So the thing is going to get destroyed. It's got a bucket. It's got a post. It's got a flag. It's got the shotgun shells. You are literally just leaving junk out there in nature.
It's the number one rule, dude. Pack it in, pack it out.
Exactly. And then the other problem, you put it in the middle of a freaking picnic table. You cannot use the picnic table anymore. There's a big flag blowing in your face if you're going to try to sit there at this picnic table that's out there for everyone to use. So it's litter. It probably symbolizes hatred. You've now made the picnic table useless. But I'm bad if I want to remove that. And by the way, if I do it, I will do it according to the flag code. I will clip it down. I will fold it up. I won't let it touch the ground. I'll take it home and burn it. Like, I'll respect the flag. I'm not just going to tear it down and throw it on the ground.
All right. At least we know that much, dude, that you're going to treat it with love and care.
Right. But do you understand on any level what I'm talking about? Like, this is supposed to be untouched nature, and
I
you've
do.
left garbage out there. I can't use the picnic table, and I don't like what you probably are symbolizing with the flag.
This is funny, dude, because we had a conversation earlier this year about my wife had gotten some Harris Waltz political signs that she put in front of the house. Yeah. And I told you that it made me a little bit nervous, only for the fact that, like, I don't really want people to know where I live and what my beliefs are, you know, because there are crazy people out there. You made the point that, oh, this one said Veterans for Harris. Like, people can't take that down. People can't be offended by that because it's about a veteran. Yeah. That's the way people feel with this flag. Like, you taking it down, I think the majority of people would say, like, you can't count that as garbage out in the wild. Like, it's the American flag, Steve. Mm-hmm. You know, so it is, you got to walk soft on those eggshells.
Yeah. I know it's a slippery slope, and now I've publicly stated that I'm going to potentially do it. So, yeah, I might get my ass kicked. But it's just hypocrisy, you know? I mean, let's just set aside the fact that it's the American flag. I don't see why that makes it immune from littering, clouding up the landscape, or the fact that you've made the picnic table completely useless. Like, just those facts alone. If somebody left any other piece of anything there doing those things, I would be in the right to remove it. There are signs at the entrance to the trail. Like you said, pack in, pack out. Don't litter out here.
Yeah. Why don't you call the forest ranger, dude, and just see if they'll remove it? Say, like, this is going to, you know, it's so windy up here, dude. This is going to be blown to shreds and littering the mountain. I think you should take it out.
Yeah, maybe I should. My hope is that someone put it out there for Veterans Day, and they're going to go back in a week and take it back. So I didn't do anything to it when I found it yesterday, but if it's still out there in a week or two, it bothers me on 100 different levels. I may respectfully remove the thing.
Okay, dude. I don't think it's a great idea, dude. I don't think it's a great idea, but we'll talk more.
Or I'll just go add 10 more flags. It's just Flag Mountain now, okay, everyone? Yeah. Every flag I can think of that's respectful to the state, to the government, to the first responders, to the forest. Let's just put every flag. Screw the untouched landscape. Now it's Flag Mountain.
Yes, dude. I think you should. I mean, people go up to Everest. They plant their flag. People go to the moon. They plant their flag. Like, this is just something you're allowed to plant a flag. From what I know, okay?
Yeah. I'm going to put a vocal minority flag out there, though.
That's a great idea, dude.
Flag it up.
All right. Well, this is a dangerous world we live in. All I'm saying is be careful. Thank you for listening to the podcast, The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. See our webpage.
Yep, thevocalminority.net. We got a comment line, 844-48-VOCAL. If you want to use your telephone as a microphone, you leave a comment. We'll play it on the show. Or you can just hide behind your keyboard and comment on our various social media platforms.
Yeah, you can always do that. We'll see you again next time. Thanks for listening to the podcast.
What up, everybody? It's Whoopi. I tried to get these white boys to come on The View, and they said no. I guess I'll just enjoy them here, like everyone else does. This has been a production of The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. The guys release 2 podcasts every week. Peace in the Middle East.